She's my sister. Adapted from a true story, translated by Muhammad Alshareef.
Her cheeks were worn and sunken, and her skin hugged her bones. That didn't stop her, though. You could never catch her not reciting Quran, always vigil in her personal prayer room Dad had set up for her, bowing, prostrating, raising her hands in prayer. That was the way she was from dawn to sunset and back again, while boredom was for others. As for me, I craved nothing more than storybooks, dolls, and dresses. I treated myself all the time to videos until those trips to the rental place became my trademark. As they say, when something becomes a habit, people tend to distinguish you by it. I was negligent in my responsibilities, and laziness characterized my lot. One night, I turned the video off after a marathon 3 hours of watching. The adhan softly rose in that quiet night. I slipped peacefully into my blanket. Her voice carried from her prayer room. "Yes, would you like anything, Nora?" With a sharp needle, she popped my plans.
Don't sleep before you pray Fajr.
Ugh. There's still an hour before Fajr. That was only the first adhan. With those loving pinches of hers, she called me closer. She was always like that, even before the fierce illness shook her spirit and shut her in bed.
Hanan, can you come sit beside me?
I could never refuse any of her requests. You could touch the purity and sincerity. Yes, Nora?
Please sit here.
Okay, I'm sitting. What's on your mind? With the sweetest voice, she began reciting.
كل نفس ذائقة الموت وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة. Every soul shall taste death, and you will merely be repaid your earnings on the day of resurrection.
She stopped thoughtfully. Then she asked,
Do you believe in death?
Of course I do.
Do you believe that you will be responsible for whatever you do, regardless of how small or large?
I do, but Allah is forgiving and merciful, and I've got a long life waiting for me.
Stop it, Hanan. Aren't you afraid of death and its abruptness? Look at Hind. She was younger than you, but she died in a car accident. So did Yasmin and Zainab. Death is age-blind, and your age could never be a measure of when you will die.
The darkness of the room filled my skin with fear. I'm scared of the dark, and now you made me scared of death. How am I supposed to go to sleep now? Nora, I thought you promised you'd go with us on vacation during the summer break. Her voice broke and her heart quivered.
I might be going on a long trip this year, Hanan, but somewhere else. All of our lives are in Allah's hands, and we all belong to Him.
My eyes welled, and the tears slipped down both cheeks. I pondered my sister's grisly sickness, how the doctors had informed my father privately that there was not much hope that Nora was going to outlive the disease. She wasn't told, though. Who hinted to her? Or was it that she could sense the truth?
What are you thinking about, Hanan? Do you think I'm just saying this because I am sick? I may live longer than people who are not sick. And you, Hanan, how long are you going to live? 20 years, maybe? 40? Then what?
Through the dark she reached for my hand and squeezed gently.
There's no difference between us. We're all going to leave this world to live in paradise or agonize in hell. Listen to the words of Allah. فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Anyone who is pushed away from the fire and shown into Jannah will have triumphed.
I left my sister's room dazed, her sweet words ringing in my ears.
May Allah guide you, Hanan. Don't forget your prayer.
8 o'clock in the morning, pounding on my door. I don't usually wake up at this time. Crying. Confusion. Oh Allah, what happened? Nora's condition became critical after Fajr. They took her immediately to the hospital. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. There wasn't going to be any trips this summer. It was written that I would spend the summer at home. After an eternity, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Mother phoned the hospital. Dad said we could go and see her now. His voice had changed. Mother could sense something had gone deathly wrong. We left immediately. Where was that avenue I used to travel and thought was so short? Why was it so long now, so very long? Where was the cherished crowd and traffic that would give me a chance to gaze left and right? Everyone just moved out of our way. Mother was shaking her head in her hands, crying as she made dua for her Noura. We arrived at the hospital's main entrance. One man was moaning. Another was involved in an accident. You couldn't tell if he was alive or dead. We skipped stairs to Noura's floor. She was in intensive care. The nurse approached us. As we walked down the hallway, the nurse went on, expressing how sweet a girl Noura was. She reassured Mother somewhat that Noura's condition had gotten better than what it was in the morning. She told us no more than one visitor at a time. This was the intensive care unit. Through the small window in the door and past the flurry of white robes, I caught my sister's eyes. Mother was standing beside her. After 2 minutes, Mother came out, unable to control her crying. You may enter and say salam to her on condition that you do not speak too long, they told me. 2 minutes should be enough. How are you, Noura? You were fine last night. What happened? We held hands. She squeezed harmlessly.
Even now, alhamdulillah, I'm doing fine.
Alhamdulillah, but your hands are so cold. I sat on her bedside and rested my fingers on her knee. She jerked it away. Sorry, did I hurt you?
No, it's just that I remembered Allah's words. One leg will be wrapped to the other leg in the death shroud. Hanan, pray for me. I may be meeting the first day of the hereafter very soon. It's a long journey and I haven't prepared enough good deeds in my suitcase.
A tear escaped my eye and ran down my cheek at her words. I cried and she joined me. The room blurred away and left us. 2 sisters to cry together. Rivulets of tears splashed down on my sister's palm, which I held with both hands. Dad was now becoming more worried about me. I've never cried like that before. At home and upstairs in my room, I watched the sun pass away with a sorrowful day. Silence mingled in our corridors. A cousin came into my room, another. The visitors were many, and all the voices from downstairs stirred together. Only one thing was clear at that point. Noura had died. I stopped distinguishing who came and who went. I couldn't remember what they said. Oh Allah, where was I? What was going on? I couldn't even cry anymore. Later that week, they told me what had happened.